In the fall of 1977, Ohio State University co-eds were told not to go anywhere alone. The reason, 3 women had been raped. All 3 were abducted from the campus, driven to isolated areas, made to write checks to their assailant, then raped. Columbus police arrested a man they believed was responsible for the crimes. What followed, the unfolding of the bizarre life of William Stanley Milligan, a man with 24 personalities. Milligan became the first person in this country to be found not guilty of a major crime by reason of insanity, due to having multiple personalities. Author Daniel Keyes has completed work on a book, The Minds of Billy Milligan.
As I began to work with him, I almost gave it up, because how do you write the life story of a man who has amnesia for most of his life? But what kept me on, what haunted me, was the Newsweek article entitled The 10 Faces of Billy, which ended with the statement that psychiatrists believe there may be other personalities than the 10 that were known at the trial, and that some of them may have committed undiscovered crimes. Well, as a writer, that taunted me, and I said, well, I've got to see if these other personalities are here.
Doctors say 24 people live inside William Milligan, each with a specific function. Reagan, the Yugoslav, deemed the protector of the family. Adalana, the lesbian, the personality that committed the rapes in Columbus. And the sum total of all of Billy's people, the teacher.
Most male multiples don't survive. That's why it has been known essentially as a woman's illness, the hysterical neurosis underlying background. Women seem to be able to lose time and, not be hurt. Most male multiples are either murdered or suicide or end up in prison, where they ultimately do go insane. But Billy was able to avoid detection, although his mother told me she always suspected there were 2 Billys. There was my Billy and then that other one who didn't care about people, and that other one, of course, was Alan, who was the con man, the manipulator, who was usually out talking to other people. So he did hide it for 22 years. And very strange, he said to me when they arrested me, when I was 22, he said, that was the first time in my life God smiled down on me.
Milligan has been in 4 institutions in Ohio. He is now back in Columbus, the scene of his trial, a major media event not only in Ohio but nationwide. Milligan, since his arrest, Keyes says, has been subject to vicious attacks by the media, particularly the Columbus media.
The attacks in some way go beyond reasonable attacks. I mean, there were so many other rapists in Columbus, you see, and you read about them once or twice and you never hear about them again. But it's almost as if Columbus did not want to let go of this man. Because he was acquitted, one gets the impression of vengeance. I want revenge, and here I know who he is and I know where he is. It is a strange thing. I'm impressed by the fact that when people read the book and understand what's happened, there's no forgiveness, of course, but there is understanding, and I think that's important.
Milligan has recently filed suit against the state of Ohio, claiming he did not receive adequate treatment in institutions in Lima and Dayton. Billy Milligan has fused and unfused, and Keyes says he no longer asks to be freed.
The teacher was here for a while when things looked good in Columbus, but he has unfused. He had his appendix out a couple of weeks ago, and the pain was so bad that David, who is the keeper of the pain, came to take it. But he does call me from time to time, and it's the teacher, and we talk, but I know he's not always the teacher when he's not talking to me. I once asked him about that, and I said, why don't you stick around? And he looked around at the barbed wire, and he said, would you stick around here if you could get away? He can escape into his own mind.
I'm Carla Stanley.